Hey everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm so excited because I'm going to show you how you can paint this rainbow splashy rockin' zebra at home. I'm going to go through it step by step. I'm going to explain the materials, the brushstrokes, the techniques, the color mixes, everything you need to know to make sure that you guys get the most out of everything I say is my husband John.
Hey guys.
He has a bunch of robotic cameras at his disposal, and so when I'm explaining a technique, he's going to zoom into it. When I'm demonstrating a color mix, he's going to get that camera right on top of it. And what that does for you at home is allows you to see everything that's happening. That way you can paint along better and you're going to get a better result. Now, today is a very special painting. I did this digital design in response to just everything that's going on right now because I just needed to feel better and I wanted to get what was going on in my heart out. I loved that it resonated with so many people. That was fantastic. So today I'm super excited to show you guys how we're going to create this. I think some of the things that we do may surprise you and not be exactly what you expected, and you're going to like them. All right, so here's our references, boom, 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 that we have. Now, these references are on the website. The Traceable is on the website. So you're going to be able to get these. You can download those. You can use those, the grid, everything. It's there for you. It's free. Because that's my very favorite price. Free. So not everything can be free, but it's nice when these things are free. I imagine we have a few people here today.
Yep, we got a few people joining us here today.
Because you're home. Maybe you're looking for something to do.
It's a home day.
It's a home day. Let's make this home day a good day. Right? So, especially if you're worried out there, hopefully this is going to help you put some of that down. Now, to that end, I have the most wishes and intentions that I have ever taken from my community on the surface. I like to do this. I get wishes and intentions and thoughts and prayers from my community. We put them on the canvas and we paint over them. And it's just about putting positivity into the universe. Diane M. is wishing for health relief from pain and being able to go back to paint. AC is wishing for safety for the first responders in Oklahoma, and Alexandra is wishing for healing and support and rebuilding in Nashville. And I have an extra wish on that. With everything that's going on, if you've already just been through something like Oklahoma has been, Nashville has been, people around the world have been, I really hope that there's extra help and people don't forget that we have that going on in all this crazy. Stephanie is wishing for relief from stress. Craig is wishing that everyone helps by washing their hands. I'd like to add don't lick doorknobs while you're at it. Lisa is wishing that her lupus remains stable and there's good results for her online shop. Deb Whitson is wishing for those affected by the coronavirus, that you're okay if you're infected, if you have family members that are infected, that you're okay, and that caregivers and care receivers are all going to be safe. Specifically her daughter's going through some stuff around that. We're wishing her healing and well-being and safety for her family. Rebecca Hoffman is wishing for relief from pain. Diana would like to have some happy, healthy knees. Cheryl is relief and freedom from cancer for Hannah. And boy, John and I would like to add, we would like to see an end to cancer just generally. I'll add flu to that. No more flu, no more cancer, just no more of this. Where's the nanos that just heal my body and make me look 40 forever? I want those. Thank you, science.
Artificial intelligence, heal us.
Yes. Yeah. I want everything in altered carbon except the fighting. Okay. Cheryl is a relief and okay. Jeannie is good. Good response from everyone's government. So wherever you are in the world, she's wishing that your government, your structure is good and responds and everyone is taken care of and is safe. Leah, and she wants everyone to work together, and I have to agree with that. Leah, for healthy forever home. She's looking for health and just a forever home, and that people who need homes have homes. And I agree with that. Shelly is wishing for people to stay calm and feel safe during a very hard time, right? Like to not be overwhelmed by this because it could be overwhelming. And Jerry Lynn is safety and care for those at risk. So again, it was another wonderful wish. But we wanted to add for the first responders out there, for the people that are helping, for the medical teams, I'm wishing, that your medical care facilities, that you're okay, that you have the care and support that you guys need as you're taking care of us.
Yeah.
Wishing for that all around the world. that all the doctors and nurses and caregivers are taken care of. And then Colleen is wishing for her daughter to be okay. So, and healthy and home. So those are our wishes. We had a good bunch of them,
Those are
didn't
good
we?
wishes. Those are lots of good wishes.
Good wishes. In fact, at the end of this, I will bubble these good wishes when we paint them in, because I'm going to say I really hope all these just work out and come true for everybody. I'm going to load up. This is a number 30 Ruby Satin Bright. And I'm going to just paint my whole surface with that, at which point my canvas will totally disappear into my backdrop.
They were commenting on how much they like your necklace today.
Thank you so much. This is from a shop called Renee's in Hot Springs. They do have an online presence, and she makes these, and I love her stuff. I have her sunglasses and a bunch of her things. Sometimes it's hard to like shout out the good ones, because you're like, but all my good stuff is there. However, with everything going on, I do want to give her a shout out. Because online stuff still happening. So go Renee.
It happens.
I was going to be there and go shopping directly, but since I cannot right now, I wish her financial well-being, and all the shops and home, business people that are out there right now. I'm just wishing you guys are okay out there. If wishes were fishes, but it still matters that we want good for each other. Even if we're not empowered to manifest that good.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that we see each other as worthwhile in that way. So I have this wet surface, and I'm going to use the grid today. Now, there is a traceable. It's a gorgeous traceable.
It is.
And there is a grid reference. I'm going to go for the grid. You guys can use either. I have no judgment.
Go for the grid.
None at all. But to do the grid, I got to dry this.
Okay. So while she's drying that, I'll say, don't forget to use your air mover on the lowest heat setting. Gosh, I couldn't get those words out of my mouth. You would think that I've said this enough times that it would be like rote. Like, don't use heat. That's, I should have that down. Yeah, thank you, Patty. So see, Patty even knows out here that, my heat talk should be automatic now, but it's not. I'm having a day. So if you need to know about heat, just don't use it when you're drying your surface, because it can cause color shift, especially on student grade paints. It's not that big of a deal. Just don't do it. As for that, there you are.
So camouflage canvas. I'm Mississippi. I think we got a bubble because we got those in.
You bubble, and while we're doing that, we're going to say
bubble
thank you
it.
to Patty.
Bubble it. Huh?
I'm going to say thank you to Miss Patty, who's
Patty!
Of course, she loves the heat talk. So
hugs from so far away. We were so close. Hugs.
So we're all
Splashy Zebra.
We're all a little frazzled today.
Isn't everyone it's okay to be, though, right?
I keep stumbling over my own words.
Listen, may I say this to you all out there, if I have anybody's ear, and I hope I do, but it's okay if I'm speaking to myself. I'm all right either way, because I talk to myself.
Here.
Okay. Guys, it's okay to be frazzled and unsure, and, all the feelings that you're going through are completely valid as long as they don't overwhelm you and overwhelm your decisions, but they're there. It's okay to feel those feelings, because we're all feeling it, right? It's not ridiculous to be like, what? Sometimes life throws you things to make you go, I don't know. And that's what art is for, because we take a deep breath, we let it out, and we get to the very boring work of gridding, which will calm us all down.
Okay.
Because gridding is so boring.
Gridding is important.
It's important, but it's also super boring.
I don't know if it's boring. It's when we get grid talk.
It's when we get grid talk. So I have this tool. It's called a T-square ruler. A bunch of people in my Acrylic April group very cleverly have figured out how to make their own. One smart husband actually 3D printed an attachment, which I hope he puts up on the what's the public software 3D printing site?
Thingiverse?
Yeah, I hope he makes it a Thingiverse thing.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Thingiverse is maintained by MakerBot. There's a bunch of them out there.
If you guys are impressed, I think that my canvas may still be drying. Guys, I may have to dry my canvas.
Look at that.
Sometimes if it's wet, you won't see the chalk go over. I'm sorry.
That's okay. She's just got to give it a little quick dry. And if the chalk isn't completely dry, or if the surface isn't completely dry, then the chalk won't release and stick to the surface. It just kind of glides over the top of it. So It has to be totally dry for it to have enough tooth for the chalk to come off of the stick, as it were. Yep.
See if that's enough. Sometimes what'll happen is it's dry, but it's not dry.
Right.
And one way you'll tell is that your chalk tool won't go over it easily. This is a Dritz chalk tool.
Is it?
Yep. It's for tailors.
Oh,
Go figure.
what do they do with them?
But I like it for what I do, so I have taken it into my own tool set.
You have to wonder what a tailor would need with a chalk pencil.
I imagine altering garments, making marks that are washable.
I don't.
Though some people made some comments on Amazon about the colored chalk maybe being wax-based. I did contact Dritz directly, and they assured me this is a clay-based chalk, that what they think is happening is that there's some more stainable fabrics and people are maybe potentially forgetting to swatch test. So if you are a seamstress or a quilter, remember, even with chalk tools, you still got to test your fabric because some fabrics are just super prone to staining. I have an art show. I just happen to know a little bit about sewing. So. It's back before I did YouTube full time. I did this. So what I'm doing is I'm making a 1 inch by 1 inch grid. In April, for 30 days, we're going to make a lot of these.
There's going to be a few of them.
There's going to be a few. You guys are going to be so good at gridding. But it's a 1 inch by 1 inch grid. And what it allows me to do is create a duplicate to my reference. And that lets me easily replicate onto my canvas my reference image. It's just a good way of doing it. In my description, boy, guys, always open my descriptions because they're just chock full of resources, books I think are good, other art tools you might want, and maybe links to software or resources like Virtual Paint Mixer, videos that you should watch if you've never painted before, and a gridding tool so you can take your own references and grid them or change the grid I have just in case you're using a different size canvas. That's an important tip for Acrylic April as well. Because you guys, if you're going to paint a different size, you'll need a different grid, and you can get that grid from that resource. Guess how much it costs?
How much it cost?
Free!
Free.
So, that's always useful. I've got to make these marks here across the 14, and since I have a 12-inch ruler, I'm not doing a yard T-square. I will have to come to the other side and finish my inches from there.
That's one of those left-handed T-squares, isn't it?
It is. I got them on sale. It was on discount. They weren't listed as left-handed, but it would seem that, yes, they are left-handed. Here's what. Guess what? And I'm sure all the lefties will appreciate this. I'm fine. It's okay. I don't mind.
You know, I didn't realize there was a left-handed ruler.
I think it's great there is.
You know, it's one of those things that as a Boy Scout, you would be sent to go get from another campsite.
Yeah?
Like, yeah, go see if Troop 314's got a, left-handed ruler.
Well, guess what? Troop 314 might have had one if they had this T-square.
See, historically, then you get to 314, they're like, no, 244's got ours. They just borrowed it. Go over there and check with them.
Yeah. Well, your scouting adventures are honestly terrifying. No story should be ended by, and I ate a snake. There's just no...
Well...
There's no good story that finishes that way. I know you're super pleased with it, but I feel like the snake wasn't, and I'm creeped out totally.
Grid talk. This is what you get.
This is what happens when you grid, but it does get your mind off of things, doesn't it?
It's not quite as crazy as chat roulette, but, I mean, it's,
Please no one go on chat. Is chat roulette a thing
I think it's gone.
Okay, good. Never go on that.
No.
It's terrible site. It's like going on Periscope now. Don't do it. It's not worth it to go. So we have this wonderful grid. Now, when I'm gridding, I like to mark the squares to number them, and that is because it's easy for me to get lost into a grid and kind of get myself off place, and I found that the number coordination system, right, helps me not lose myself. Because I could.
You gridded. and numbered.
Look
You
at this.
know,
I'm an
you,
artist.
I'm guessing you've practiced doing that before.
I have practiced doing that before. I also recommend for the next part sharpening your chalk tool if you have it. I do like this chalk tool. I'm kind of getting to the end of when this one can be sharpened. It's going to become a blunt chalker. But you can see they're sharpenable. And that point does help. And I have backup sharpened ones here too.
Are they 1-inch grids that you're working on there?
I'm working on 1 by 1 inch grid.
Neato.
Hmm?
I said neato.
Neato burrito. So how this is basically going to work is, let's say on the top row, I come over to the first line that I can see of my total image. Rather than taking this whole thing in and getting overwhelmed by drawing, I can just address what I see in that square. I just do what I see here. So if the side of his ear comes in off the side here very gently and ends right there, that's all I draw. And if the rest of his ear comes in from the side, right? And, oh wait, it comes in at, see, and that's why I number it, because I'm like, wait, that looks wrong, because it comes in at 5. See, so that's why I like to use the numbering system, because again, I can get lost in my squares. Not the same as getting lost in somebody's eyes, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh.
So what we do is we just draw what we see in each square and try not to take on too much more than that. And if you can break it down into smaller bits, even if you're not wholly comfortable with drawing, what ends up happening is you're probably comfortable drawing a curve that enters and exits a square. And as you build it, the overall drawing starts to emerge. And this is a nice sort of safe way to take on drawing. Now, by the way, traceables are just fine though. And that's why I still provide them and will provide them and continue to provide them. Because they are important.
Now tracing's just fine for this, yeah?
Yes, tracing is just fine.
Because I would definitely be tracing this face. I don't know that I would have horse face skills.
No?
Although I don't know that I have anything skills, so horse face.
And it's super okay. I'm not going to be like, you didn't use the grid. Your post is not approved. It's more likely like, this doesn't have anything to do with my tutorials. Your post is not approved. But if it's a tutorial, I'm going to approve the post. That's a Facebook thing. If you any of you are stuck on Facebook. Oh, come down into 9. And then here at 9, we kind of come off at the shoulder. Bisect to 11. Oh, kind of across 11 here. Down 12, and there we have a nice shoulder. I am not. You could use this to put your stripes in. I'm going to freehand my stripes in because I'm a crazy person.
Are you?
Uh-huh. Super much so. And that's the kind of stuff that I do. But if I were not, I'm on 3 here. I'm going to work on my nostril. If I were not, I might use my grid to put in my stripes. And I like to get in here. I'm going to just do the outer contour lines of him. His nostrils make me super happy. Everything about them, I got to tell you. His little nose coming up and wrinkling. I had horses growing up, if you're very new to the show. So this is a real thing that happens. And so it's just terrific to me. Dun, 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 dun. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll check and make sure that I'm in the right location because I'll get over some.
Yeah.
And if I do, I just sort of erase what I've got and reorient. And how I'll do that is I'll go, okay, did I come over too far? And I'm like, oh, I did. I just moved it over a square too far. That happens. But that's what you do. You just go, ow, oops. You go here. Same thing, but just over a bit. Comes down, yeah, into 4. Got it now. And then there's this fabulous across 3 sort of wrinkle to his nose.
Yeah.
You know, all across the third row. Hey, Jen, can you grab my phone? It's charging in the other thing. Because when I get this done, I'll do this. I'll try to get a step-by-step of this one because I think it'll help everybody a lot. I'm happy to say that all acrylic April has step-by-steps. That's charging. And I plugged it in. Right here, you know, kind of the lip goes up. Oh, thank you. What was that? Is that it? Okay, that's it. I'm just trying to see what I see. To make sure that I'm exaggerating what I exaggerate. How are you guys doing on your grid? Sometimes we time lapse these, but this one just not possible. The world was just. The teeth are going to be like one of my favorite things. Inside the mouth, one of my favorite things like ever. Sip your coffee. Do you feel like the grid is like taking your mind off stuff? Oh, okay. So hopefully the grid is taking your mind off of things. And continue to come down this interesting little mouth. I'm just like sort of right. It's always interesting to like catch what do I feel the row 5 and then it's 7. Oh, we are coming this way. Getting that little open mouth going. Bringing this down here. We're going to exaggerate a lot of things. Now, you might feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to get this imperfect to make this work. Because of the extreme nature of the piece, we're actually going to be fine. More than you know. I just bring it around. Again, contour lines is outer lines. Not going to worry about everything. Right? Not everything.
Yeah.
Just the some things. I guess what I would say is something, not everything. Something, not everything. Oh, over even more.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had a.
Technical ding.
Yeah. I had to see if my R2 unit could get that servo locked down.
Did your R2 unit lock down its servo?
I think so.
There we go. How you guys doing? So we're just drawing them out. You can kind of see how it builds, right? Sometimes for me, I'm one of those artists like on my own, like I'm like circle, 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 circle. It's a hot mess, and then I erase all the hot mess until it becomes a thing. What I found is that's not real effective for teaching. People do not, in general, find that as helpful in what they've got going on.
Man.
Gotta figure out the spot for kind of like this little eye. So here on 3, the little eye comes here.
You know,
and then breaks here and breaks there. It's like really hard to see, and then it's a little bit squished to there. And then this little eye is craziness. It comes right here. It's all squished there. That's fun. Those eyes are fun. Really, it's all going to be about the mouth, though. Get that mouth in and you'll be okay. Coming to 7. So, like, if ever you're like, oh, this is getting to me, you can go to a different part of the grid and pull this in.
Yeah.
And not be as worried about it. You know, it's completely okay. Comes in 7. And I can always check, be like, gosh, that seems narrow, or it seems this. Then you look at it and you go, but is it? Is it narrow? Is it any of those things? Because we got that there of this crazy little yawny mouth. I've actually seen this up close and personal, by the way.
Have you?
Don't you remember when we went to the caverns and then we met that fun couple with kids and we RV'd over, campered over, whatever we were doing at the time, and we fed the zebras?
Oh yeah, I remember.
And the zebra did this in the car. We have pictures of it.
They were like, "Give me the peanut."
We have pictures of it. The zebra did this in the car.
Yes.
This is him. This is that zebra. You see it now?
I see.
I love the tongue. Everything about this tongue makes me super happy. Now we've got teeth. Teeth are always a good thing. All right? Teeth here are really fun. I love the zebra teeth. You get to put those in as well. I think they're in. So when you see the teeth, you can start to see how the image is transferring. Lovely.
Yeah.
We're actually kind of wrapping up now.
Now, one of the things that we found is that the reason why we're not putting the gridded version up here is it's oftentimes the grid's too small to see as a picture-in-picture. So you really should go to the website, download that as a reference image so that you can use it from there. If
it's possible.
There's a lot of...
But I mean, if you can only look at it on your phone, it's still, the principles still work.
Yes.
So, you know, if the principles are still working. Interesting little jaw that he's got going on here. I'm very fond of his jaw. And he's also got this little kind of chin that they have. There's that jawline. So now we have this little jawline, which is wonderful on the stretch because it's a crazy stretch. And coming off about right about here, which is on row 9. We're going to bring that down. That'll help us with, you know, what we've got going on. And then I got to look up row. Interesting how I've sometimes I have to tackle things from like another direction. So if I'm like, okay, row 11 and in 6 is when I'm going to see the neck. Crazily enough, come up. It's a really crazy line. And that's what we're wanting to do, is just make sure that we've...
What I find interesting is a lot of these horsey anatomy.
Yeah.
You really know it.
Yeah, sometimes if I get like lost in the thing, I'm like, nope, you got to go like this.
You're just like, I know how to draw this.
And so I'm just going to keep going because I'm like, ah. But I do want to make sure that, you know, I'm talking a bit about the space of this neck, which is happening. Right, and then we've got that sort of center thing that goes on. Because we got to do stripes across all that nonsense. That's really all we got to do in on him at this stage. We got that. How you guys feel?
That looks great.
I think we deserve bubbles. That was a lot.
Oh, well, I think you definitely... And you know what else? I need to say thank you to Danielle, who says, words can't express how much I love you and how much of a difference you've made in my life and art. Thank you so much, Sherpa.
You're so welcome, Danielle.
Thank you.
And you guys make a difference in our lives way more than you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Way more than you know. Bubble it up, bubble it up. I'm going to take a picture so we have step 1. Does that sound good?
That seems like a good This is a good place to take a picture.
Seems like a good place to get a reference. John can get you a look at it. So in case you're gritting at home, you've got a thing.
Yeah.
The idea being, I post up these step-by-steps, and what happens is you're like, oh, it's step 1. I can get to there. You don't have to get to the whole piece. You can get to just that piece.
Yeah.
Now, my 2 cents is I want this really black. I do. So I'm going to take a fairly large bright because I just want to paint it in quickly. And I'm going to paint in the whole background. Just grab Goldilocks here. My number 10 bright from Art Sherpa line. Guess what? You can use any bright you have.
You're just getting rid of some of those.
Yeah, and also I wanted the second coat, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
You know, his body, even as we do the splatters and extra elements back here, these exciting elements, which, by the way, we're going to do much less splattering than you think, because sometimes big splatter effects, yeah, if you're pouring paint, sure, that can happen on occasion, right? But if you're painting canvas, you can't guarantee that a certain range of splatter is just always going to come out from him a certain way if you're just kind of loose and wild splattering. So you got to do some architected splatter. And that's always good because it's less messy in your kitchen.
Yeah, this is turning out.
And this will be fun. This will just be like this very meditative, almost kind
you
of
just sort
Zen doodling kind of painting experience. Because the stripes, especially, by the time you're done with the stripes, your stress levels will be dropping. They'll be stripe stress, but they won't be life stress. It is good before the next part to make sure that everything is completely dry because we want the colors to be bright.
So, yeah, just make sure that you fully dry that between the layers so that you don't pick up any black as you're painting on your next or subsequent layers. Don't forget to check link in the description down below for the traceable and the gridded reference and all that stuff that you might need. You can find more out about Acrylic April, which is coming up next month. I'll have Cinnamon talk about that more. That's where we spend an entire month of April dedicated to raising awareness of painting with acrylic paint and the practice of daily painting. So every day, Cinnamon will have a new painting that she puts up that is guided along for you guys to practice that. So
okay. So there's 2 types of splatters. The ones that we're going to hand paint in graphically and the few that we're going to put in organically to make the graphic ones seem more real. So to do today's kind of graphic one, I think I'm going to do the 2-brush method.
The 2-brush method? What's that?
The 2-brush whacking method,
The
which is like
whackety-whack.
whack 2 brushes. It's not great for your brushes, but I've done it for years. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use my bristle because it tends to hold a little bit more water. And I'll start with, say, my CAD yellow medium. If you look at this, we've got Mars black, quinacridone magenta, CAD red medium, CAD yellow medium, CAD orange. We have phthalo blue, phthalo green, and Dox purple. So we pretty much have all the colors that we need.
A little rainbow of them.
I'm going to add white, to be candid, to my yellow splatters because they just tend to be a little bit transparent.
Can I ask something?
Now I'm going to swat here and make sure I'm okay.
Okay.
Yes, you can ask anything.
Well, next time you go over there, I wanted to ask, why did you lay the colors out like that?
Because rainbow.
It's
I should have put the orange between the yellow, but it just went out.
I was just curious. I didn't know if it was like, if it had purpose or...
I will sometimes put colors I know I am mixing together and that are next to each other. You cleaned up my rags too, babe.
I did? I overly cleaned your studio. I'll get you a rag.
You just moved it. Okay. I got to get one right now.
All right, you get a rag.
I just can't. I have to find one.
Oh.
Because I can't do the next step without it.
Ah, there you go.
Okay. So now I'm going to, let's get some red into it. That'll be nice and vibrant. So you can see I'm dipping in the water, the toe of the brush, and I'm swirling it around. And what I'm looking for, it can't be so thin it leaves strings, and it can't be so thick it won't disperse. Test splatter, make sure you're okay.
Oh.
Got a video about that.
Yep.
Interestingly enough.
So, but you put some of these paints next to each other so that they're easier to mix.
Yeah, like I know I'm gonna mix phthalo blue and phthalo green to make phthalo turquoise. I know
Ah.
I'm gonna mix magenta with my cad red to make some colors. I know I'm gonna mix my yellow with my cad orange. I probably will. I'm just
Yeah.
sometimes thinking about it. You can never. Well, you can do it perfectly.
I was just curious why it wasn't a rainbow when you laid it out versus like why they were like you put yellow, you put white in the middle. Why is white in the middle?
Because this.
Because you mix a lot of things with it, huh?
Yeah. Now I've added a little white to my phthalo blue, and that's a lot because phthalo blue can be very dark, and without the white. So you can see on my backboard, I test it.
Yeah.
And a couple of these already
Over
wet. Too much water. That's what it is. So you'll be looking for that. You'll be like, oh, it's too much water.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'll wring this out.
That happened.
That was my number. That was if you have the brush, that was the Silverstone number 12. And this is the Black Pearl number 12. Because I like to have a hoard of number 12s.
And you got to dry between the layers.
Gonna dry.
So that's a very thing that's important to do, especially when you're doing these splatteries, is that if you don't get the splatters dry, then they will, what do you call it? They'll smear. So when you go in there to paint the next layer or do anything and you drag your brush across any of those little wet bits, they just smear real badly. So it's best to go ahead and take the time to dry them thoroughly. Make sure that that's done. So when you get to the next layer, it's easier to paint. And wow, my gosh, there's a lot of folks coming over here joining us today. Thank you. That's really nice Saturday afternoon outside here in Houston. Surprisingly, it's a little overcast, but it was actually pretty nice outside earlier today. Had a nice little time.
Woohoo!
Sometimes
though.
I was lamenting that the weather's actually kind of nice outside.
The irony of that just is not lost on me. I'm like, every number 4 round I have is being washed. Okay, so I have a number 4 round that I found. I'm going to get it wet, and I'm going to go back and get some of the colors that I had. So like my yellow. This is a particular painting that you will want to change water often, just to keep the colors bright. Get some white into it. So I'm going to come here, maybe off this ear. I'm going to make what is kind of essentially a bit of a dot. And then I'm going to paint out a hand-painted splatter. The problem with splatter for real is the chances that you're going to get all the layers of splatter as you need it in the position that you need them to put the zebra on it are next to nil.
Now, that's a good question. Why didn't you mask the zebra when you were splattering?
No need. And it puts my students in a position where they've got to go out and buy a bunch of extra art materials. So if you don't have a budget concern and you're going to go out and get like any type of masking material that you would use like for airbrushing, where you create kind of stencil, that's completely cool. It's a viable art decision. However, when you're painting with people like all over the world, the chances that they'll have access to those types of art materials are slim. So, and since it's literally not necessary.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a question or
We're just making some of these extra sort of yellow splatters with our number 4 round.
So, is splattering cheating?
Splattering cheating.
Yeah, instead of just individually painting the dots and using your...
Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. I have to say, one, I'm kind of just processing right now that might feel that way to somebody.
Jackson
Sometimes in
Pollock?
art, it'll feel like if a technique is easy or technique is like expressive, like, so say I pour paint on a canvas,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it might feel like that's cheating for some, even though there's a lot of prep and a lot of planning and there's a lot of artistic oversight that you have to do, and it really is a very intensive piece. It might feel like that. Splattering actually takes quite a lot of
Yeah. I mean,
planning and control. So there's really techniques are not generally cheating in art.
there's actually masters considered it splattering.
There actually is.
Arguably in modern art.
There is. I like to just kind of make it seem like there's some big splatters and those will go out. And then compositionally, it's helpful to him. Right? I've got the yellow on my brush anyways, and I can come get white. Now, if you're painting like apple barrel paints, okay, 50-cent apple barrel paints, everywhere that I have to have a bright color, you may want to consider painting white first. Letting it dry and then painting over your bright color. Because the pigmentation may not be high. Same for Liquitex Basics. Same for the entry level of Artist Loft.
Right, yeah.
Even with my paint, I am adding a little white into it. Just to make sure my coverage is good. So I'm painting the idea that we had other little splatters here. And you can kind of look at splatter patterning and go, oh, like if I go like that, that'll feel splattery. Even though what you're painting in is a considered little splatter. By the way, if somebody wanted to paint all of the splatters because they had an artistic reason to control the outcome of the piece, that's valid too. What's not valid in art, I think, is pretending something is yours that's not.
That's not
It's
cool.
not good.
That's
Forgery's super bad. Pretending you're an artist that you're not. Also super bad. Everything else is just technique and process. And so we're just trying to paint little splattery shapes. Can you see these crazy little shapes? And they can have little rounded edges and then straights and then bits that come up here and there, and you can play with those as much as you want. Because you're just trying to say, he has splatter pants around him. And the act of the kind of organic random splatter with your well thought out painted splatter really does a lot, like a lot, to help him look fantastic. Now I'm going to take some of my red. Red. And maybe paint a little bit of a red splatter coming off here. And splatters just tend to be like little round shapes, and sometimes they're a little heavy as the centrifugal force carries the paint out. There's nothing that you can't paint just by observing its properties. And we're just going like that.
Just scrolling back up here. Looks like I missed a little bit of a super chat.
Did we?
I did.
I can stop for a second. We can bubble it up because we're doing so good.
When you get to your next color, we're going to get little bubbles.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to be at this for a while, so let's bubble now.
Your bubble?
Yeah, because also I want a sip of coffee, which I now wish was warmed because it somehow got cold on me.
Because you have an air conditioner blowing on you.
I do, but I need it. Otherwise, Mama stops painting because she's hot.
So, Janae, thank you for being
Janae!
you too. We appreciate the sticker and the support. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us today. It's really nice to have all of you guys out here on a Saturday afternoon where we just come and paint along together and do a crazy Sherpa
We'll try to
zebra.
do more stuff since everybody's sort of home.
Is it
for
Sherpa's?
reasons.
I don't know what kind of zebra that is, but it's the Sherpa zebra that comes in multiple colors.
It's the type of zebra this is.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. What did they have at the park? Whatever kind of zebra that was.
This is the wild Sherpa of Sherpaville because you can tell because of the Technicolor coat.
Come here and be like, oh, maybe like from here. And this splatter could be next to its little red friend. I love doing this. Sometimes I have to get the paint on the toe of my brush. Adding little dots. Have fun. Breathe in, relax. This is the, if you think about it, that's reminiscent of somebody sneezing or coughing without covering their mouth. I think I was in a state when I painted this.
Hmm.
We had to reschedule a retreat, and I was having some kind of feels about that.
You were having some feels. Oh, you're getting a couple layers of that on there.
Yeah, if you need to, you can come back as it's dry and add another layer. You know, kind of going. Doing your thing, right? Rinse,
Yeah.
rinse, 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 rinse thoroughly. And you kind of know how this jam goes. We get colors and we paint them. So, like, the green and yellow go together. I like to make a slightly brighter green.
Yeah.
Just so it shows. And paint all those fun splatter shapes too. Paint the splatter shapes. They're like little amoebas. This one comes around kind of and back down. I like green and yellow. It really covers well. And you can see that just adds to it. So that's, instead of trying to figure out how to lay this down and get these fan splatters and take a air tool and blow it, because you could do that. You could plop fluid paint. Thank you so much, baby. You could plop fluid paint here when it was black, and you could take an air tool and randomly blow it out as well. Which one am I on? Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't know where it was. So that is potentially possible. That is an acceptable way to do it for sure. But this one is much less damaging, to our kitchen. And maybe perhaps. Okay. I didn't have any paint over here. Okay. Okay. I'm not there, baby. Okay. I don't know. I'm right here. This is where this one goes. Does it go in the other place? Right. No, I get it. John's like paint here, but it's not there. That's not where that color goes. Backseat painting. That's okay. Honestly, aren't we all glad at least we get to be together today? We get to at least say, well, yeah, this is all pretty much, something I'm home, maybe from work, sipping my coffee, painting my zebra, splatters. That's fun.
Yeah, there we go.
I can always add like my dark green, which is fun. You can paint your splatters as thoughtfully as you paint anything else in Mr. Zebra Pants' life. I like to put some expressive splatters coming out from his body.
They all seem pretty expressive to me.
Do they? I feel like they are too. There we go. So then we got blue and purple, and then we might want to accent with some orange. Like, so if I took my orange right now, like cadmium orange, I could kind of come up between these two.
Get a little mixing action in there.
Well, and also just some surprise splatter action. Sometimes you're going, you're like, hey, man, we need a little thing here, or maybe those splatters layer over. You've got the orange. You've got the power in the orange. You can do what you need to do. Make something feel layered in a surprising way. It's going to be really lovely when he's done.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys liking it?
I think that looks great.
Step 2 is a bit involved. It just is what it is, yo.
Just got to get some splatter in there.
Now my blue with a little bit of white, because as we mentioned, the phthalo blue is so dark that it can be a little bit tough. And you can take a color, right? Like it may be the color layered over another color. So anytime that you need maybe more control, consider doing the splatter or the drips or all the expressive painting techniques by hand. It's good shape practice.
Yeah.
Fun stuff to do. I'm loving it. How is everybody doing?
Really good. This is amazing. I'm just sort of like I had no idea how this was going to come to be.
Yeah, you had looked over it and I'd seen the what are we going to be doing Saturday face. Oh no. My wife is doing a thing. Therefore, I am doing a thing. We're all doing a thing. Here we go. Hopefully this is sort of surprising and maybe makes you feel like, oh, that's a little more doable. That was my other hope. I know a lot of people sometimes will skip a painting because they're like, I am not up for the splatter. I find Doc's purple always improved by a little bit of white because it's just such a dark, deep color.
Yeah.
And you want it to be able to show, right? Like we want it right here. But you want to have some control over what's going on. Bring that up there. What? Yep, totally. And perhaps some purpley spots here and there. Just for balance. Guess what? Step 2 is done!
Wow.
Sorry, I don't know why I was like
You're excited.
Got excited there.
You got your sports voice on.
I did. I don't really watch sports, so this is as close as I'm gonna get.
It's your.
But let's get you a step 2 recorded, so
You know.
camera
We have
phone
a
clean.
good shot of that guy. He looks really cool.
And this is a cool step, right?
Yeah.
Do we have any questions before we move on to the very long and involved job of stripes?
Let me go see here. What palette paper are you using?
This one is the Strathmore. I like to use New Wave or Gray Matters, but ran out and I'm using the big pad of Strathmore from Michaels. You can get it with
Oops.
like a 50% off coupon.
That one right there, yeah.
Yeah, Strathmore's.
Just from Michael's, yeah.
Yep, just for Michaels.
I saw that.
But they're everywhere. They're an everywhere kind of a thing. Now, my feeling is on this that I'm going to prefer to perhaps do my colored stripes first and then come back with my white stripes. And we're going to see how that process sort of works for me. So let's begin with our purple. Now, I am going to take a little bit of my magenta into my purple. I just feel it makes a more pleasant purple. I'm going to load up my number 8 cat's tongue. I'm going to come from the side. I feel kind of qualified to do this because I did my daughter's entire room in zebra stripes at one point. I feel like I have found some zebra stripey skills that one might have.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going to do. Like, we'll just, you know, if we're going to say that the haunches here has a bit. As we go. So let's, and I like this brush because it lets me do thick and narrow very easily. When we come back with the white is when this thing will have its little crazy moment of awesome. The shape of the stripes, the directionality of the stripes do a lot. As I come forward, I'm going to get more blue. And you may need to get more water. Kind of painting a little zebra stripe here.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some kind of coming from here. These will talk a bit about the little bellies. And grab some, well, now I gotta rinse out because it's got too much purple in it. Rinse, rinse, rinse. It can be nice. I'm gonna take a little of my blue and my green, and that makes a bit of a turquoise. I'm gonna come off the back here with this sort of more turquoise color. You're gonna want to bend that down. I'm gonna add that there because I'm being playful. My Rainbow Zebra. We do what we want to do. Then move forward. You know, maybe kind of blend some of this into some of these stripes a bit. As I go, you know, coming in through here, I want to kind of get into the green. There's a lot of cool stuff going on with the green. So I'll pull my green out. Maybe get some of my yellow involved in it. Get your yellow involved with your green. And just try to think about like, okay, well, this stripe, you know, it kind of tells me about the shoulder because of its shape and the way it disappears. But another thing I can do to help myself out is I can maybe put in some of my neck stripes, which tell me a lot about the shape of my zebra as well. Sometimes putting in those very influential shaping stripes will let you start to paint the zebra. When you're painting zebras, that's one of the fun things about them. Is their stripes also sort of help with their shape? Real kind of like green stripe going off the shoulder that I like over here. And then kind of coming around here. This deeper green stripe that comes around there. Can you see how very quickly there's this like zebra that happens from the stripes? It's going to get a little intense up at the head. So let's just enjoy this little chill moment that we have right here. Because once we get past that, then it's like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot more yellow. So this one is a bit of a yellow-green. And a little stripey stripe there. Now, we have a nice big foundational one that comes up to the shoulder, and it's really going to be thick down here and pull in. Who knew? I bet you didn't know that the hard part was the drops.
Yeah.
That's not what you were thinking. Now I'm going to call this step 3 just because in case the overall thing is sort of overwhelming, I'm going to give some extra kind of like thought steps there for you guys to kind of get into and be all wondering
really
about.
Fast. Like his little face. I can't wait till we get up there.
Yeah, his face is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun, for sure. Especially like in around like the mouth and everything. This I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Like I may come in and do this and then his eyes and then come back and stripe him in the face just because once I get this foundationally in, then it's going to be easier to get other parts of him in. And then the last thing I'll worry about is like the little fluffy ears and his little rock and roll mane there, which he has.
Yeah. I can see it.
If you get a chance, babe, and I'm so sorry to bug you, I could use some water.
Okay.
I'm going to get my orange out. Maybe pull some yellow into it. And we're going to do an interesting thing on this stripe. The stripe is going to come kind of around to where the throat is. Right here. And then it goes down. And that helps it look like it's coming around the neck. So you see more of the bend in the neck. Now I can inform more of the bend in the neck. Thank you. If I kind of shade this little stripe a little bit with the cad red kind of coming back. So we can just see the exaggeration of it. I can always come back with like more of my orange if I need to. And when we come back with the white too, we have another opportunity to really refine everything that we have going on. Thank you. Let's break a little bit from the stripes for a minute because it might be nice to get this last one here at the throat. I'm going to get this last one here at the throat. Let's take a little of maybe our cad orange and our cad red, and we'll come here, and we know that this little stripe comes down as they do, but its little partner will actually come down here like this. And that's how we get up to the zebra necky there.
Gotcha.
Zebra necking! Might be a better place to get the step 2 photo. Well, sometimes I do that where I'll be like,
While we're here, I'm going to say thank you to Krista.
Krista!
Who says, thank you for doing all that you do and sending big art hugs to us. Well, thank you, Krista.
Well, Krista, I'm going to do these bubbles for you and enjoy my hot coffee.
Your hot coffee?
Is this helping? I know we got a lot going on and we're feeling kind of way. Is this at least a little bit of a mandatory stay home de-stress?
You know, this is a screaming zebra. It's like if, I don't know. It seems like awesome party. This is a party animal if I ever saw one. You know what I mean?
I do. He is the party animal.
Feeling
He
very
takes all
party.
these moments and considers them opportunities.
Opportunity.
They're zebra-tunities for him. He's very clear on where he's at on all this stuff. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to take a little of my Doc's Purple over to my quinacridone. And at the top of the nose and the nostril, I'm going to paint a base of this in. It's kind of dark at first. Don't worry, we have a plan. And then up above the first wrinkle of the nose, I'm going to definitely be kind of in this range. Now I'm going to come back in a mini minute and get some white into this. And start to wet into wet, sort of highlight some of what's happening here. Letting some of that still be dark because, you know, his little nostrils will be a-going.
I did miss Angie. So, sorry, Angie. Angie sent us a beautiful little pear that was just scrolled up. I just didn't see it because it was right up there.
You didn't see Angie's pear?
I think I was busy getting water, actually.
Probably you're busy getting water. Well, let's, right after we get this part painted in a little bit, let's look at Angie's little pear.
We'll get that. Thank you, Karen. She helped bought me that.
I'm gonna do it. Just an excuse to have more coffee, Angie.
You know what? This coffee break is for you and for all of you. We drink this coffee.
For everyone, everywhere.
We're falling on the sword of coffee so that everyone can have bubbles.
Bubbles. We all need bubbles right now, don't we? How self-soothing are bubbles? It's like bubble soothe, bubble soothe, bubble soothe me, make me feel better.
Bubbles are infectious.
I will put out a little more white just because, you know, we want to keep colors clean. And I'll put out a little more of my yellow.
Yeah.
Because we want to maybe brighten up some things and pink up some things as we're going. Definitely some thoughts and eventualities and things going on. But this is a nice base to that. Kind of little nostril space. And I can always come in and sort of with my round even define some nostrils some more. Because that's super doable. Coming down the forward front, I think I'm going to want to take a little bit of my quinacridone and do one of my very favorite mixes, which is my Quin Cad mix.
Quin Cad?
Quin and Cad, they are lovely together. You can always get a little yellow into it and even a little white to get some surprising color results.
Whenever you say Quin and Cad, I think of Daria.
Oh, do you?
I don't know why.
So I'm just painting these little zones here right now.
The nose zone?
Gonna paint the nose zones. Easy to come back and create some shadows if I zone well. I can even kind of come in at this stage and be like, oh, hey, maybe there's some shading. Look at that, shading up there. Thinking about his little mouthy.
It's a
and I may bring this down here. What we have, right?
Yeah.
There we go. We've really kind of highlighted that. We've started to speak on it in depthly. Now, first, in the mouth, I think I'm going to want to talk about the tongue, which we did as turquoise. So I'm going to get back into my turquoise colors, which is my phthalo green and phthalo blue, and a little bit of white. The tongue is terrific in my mind. Favorite part. Because it comes to a weird little point, right? And it's got that great kind of heart crease in it, which we'll put in later with like shadows and stuff. We're just trying to get these little colors in. So it's wonderful. That looks great. That looks terrific. I may, for inside the mouth for just a second, switch to my number 4 round again. Behind his tongue, I'm not going to have it be totally black. I think I'm going to have behind his tongue come in blue.
So,
And then kind of around the tongue, I'm definitely going to do blue. And I may even put in some of the first elements of the shading in here just to remind myself that that's going on there in blue. So what?
oh, just I'm looking over here, watching chat, watching you. Kind of, there's all sorts of interesting stuff happening.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, the world has been too interesting as of late.
Oh, that's what it
Seems
was.
to get all boring right up in here right now.
I saw D in here was saying she could spell but not pronunciate quinacridone. And that's okay because for a
We
long
did
time
for a long time.
I called it Passamaquoddy pink because I couldn't say the Q word.
You couldn't. It was only through the great support of our community
Yes,
and their commitment to making sure that John could say that word.
it was like the better part of a year too.
It
Like
worked on him real hard.
Quinacridone.
Yeah, and he just, and then it would always revert into Passamaquoddy pig.
Yeah, just Passamaquoddy because it was so
Because
much
he just
easier.
couldn't go any further. He just couldn't. I liked the purple in here, so I'm going to go for that. I understand if you want to go a different way or different color. I don't take that personally in any way. I am going to add some magenta to the mix because I just like that. And I'm going to come on the inside here. This is sort of like the little wrinkle. We're getting into what is his little mouth. And then even more coming forward. Let's get more of that. Maybe more pink. And we'll come under the little lip and speak on the teeth. Who can't speak on zebra teeth? We've got the first touch on a little bit of teeth where we can kind of see them and we know their teeth. I may still like to kind of come in with some blue here. And what's sort of great is I can even bring the blue kind of to talk about the teeth. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
It's sort of like the little gums. On the toe of my brush, I'm just looping through. Not too worried, guys. And I'll get into that mix and put a lot more white into what this is, right? So I had some blue on my brush. I'm adding a lot more white. Let's give some really wonderful zebra teeth beginnings. We'll highlight them. We have lots to say. There's lots to do here. I like them to be a little wider at the base and they kind of exaggeratingly narrow at the top. There we go. We've got some teeth. Starting to see those, right?
Yeah.
Same thing down here. Starting to have teeth.
Wow.
You can always keep defining it. Hopefully I'm not in your way, babe.
No.
Who's got teeth? Your zebra has teeth. Crazy, wacky zebra teeth. Who's got crazy, wacky zebra teeth?
Those look great.
Your teeth. Your zebra's teeth has crazy, wacky zebra teeth. I kind of planned a longer lesson today. I hope everybody's jammed on that because like, I just figured we just needed something to distract us.
This is just cool to do.
Just cool to do. Just fun to do. Now, I'm going to dry this.
All right.
For a second.
So while she's drying that, I'll say thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. It's really awesome to come out here and see everyone on a Saturday and just come and hang out and do painting stuff. So thank you. We like having you guys here. It's really nice. And if you'd like more painting where that came from, you can go to our website, TheArtSherpa.com, where we have all sorts of cool things that you can continue to do.
If you're having trouble painting over the black, remember you can paint those areas white first. You really can. It's just a hack that you would use to get that done.
Yeah.
Now, I think I'm going to keep on because I've got this basin and I'm going to highlight and work it later, like, because I'm going to be like much more colorful than even I was in my reference. It's going to get crazy up in here. But I've got to get some stripies in, as you do. So I'm going to take a little of my CAD quinacridone and my CAD red. And I'm going to do some of the stripes on the face. They are a little more challenging. I'm using my number 8 cat's tongue. So what you've got going on here is right around here. The stripes hit a cheekbone. Come in and go around and down. And especially when we get a little more of our white in there, it's going to be super helpful to have that demarcation. Now, we're going to talk about the eye just a little bit right here, because it's there, and it's squishy. We don't have to be too particular about it. But there's a bunch of weird little stripes. So there's a little stripe that comes up over here and down into the eye. And that one comes down into the eye. And then this one makes kind of a turn. And there you go. Kind of like that basic little stripey stripe. I can always come back with some pure CAD. And exaggerate some elements of the stripe. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Just playing with the pure CAD on my cat's tongue. or your filbert or your round. Not really I can't stress enough that the brush is not the important component to what's happening.
Yep.
You're a very important component to what's happening. The
Me?
brush is just a tool. Well, yes, also
No.
you.
I don't know what I was like. It's like
I'm gonna come right here and I'm gonna start
so.
to flick up a little bit of his little zebra mane.
You're so funny because sometimes you'll be talking to them and sometimes you're talking to me, and I have to sometimes guess whether it's like
I mean, I'm gonna grab some orange. Whether I'm talking, it's
the
so true.
empirical you or the you, my husband.
Especially during acrylic April, I was like, "Are you there? What's going on?" Because we're just. You'll see. I'm gonna grab some yellow. Looks kind of good, right? He's getting his little hot gone.
Denise is loving our psychedelic zebra here.
He is just fantastic.
She would love to see if she's giving us some big support up here in the channel.
Well, cool, because we're about to take a coffee break and a sippy sip and a bubble.
She thinks that this would be awesome to see these in the wild.
You know, it would be.
You know,
it would just be fantastic. I feel like I would just feel better knowing these were out there. I'm going to take a picture of this step. We're going to celebrate Denise with some bubbles.
And see, people don't know is that zebras are punks.
They are punks, man.
They're like
they're not like chill, mellow. Go ahead and eat me. It's all cool animals.
No, well, you have to kind of understand. They're not like horses where they get to run around on the plains and be cruising and cool. No, they got lions chasing them, like big, gigantic cats.
Predators.
Like real ones. So they got to be all like, they have some tude.
Now, something to be aware of when you're looking at this, the colored stripes do not represent his black stripes. The colored stripes don't represent his white stripes. They're his black stripes. We're going to come back with white and stripe him, and he's going to pop in a way that is going to explode your brain.
Ooh, interesting.
Right? Like, it's cool. Like, if he were in black light, this would be cool. Like, if he was a black light zebra, if I got all of Holbein's luminous colors, I could do this. If I did, something or any of the good companies, Lucas, so any of the ones that have a good range of colors.
Oh, yeah.
So for this much work, I'd probably do Holbein. Because it lasts longer. Guess what he has on this side? Blue and purple.
Blue?
So I'm going to put, he definitely has, a bit of a little eye squish here.
I'm going to give one more super chat that was in there because I was not paying attention. I saw it there. It's Erica.
I'll bubble up.
Yeah, Erica had some.
Erica, thank you.
She says, love your moderators in your community. Super sweet and helpful. Also love your work energy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So just
appreciate it greatly.
Thank you all of you guys who are helping me catch all this stuff with cinnamon and the pen. The zebra's got my attention. He keeps
evolving.
I have to.
He's an evolving zebra. Your zebra evolves.
It's an honorary zebra.
He feels some things. And we accept that it is his zebra right to maybe feel some zebra things.
A zebra is a...
Zebra rights are serious rights.
You can't say that zebra is a horse of a different color because if you...
Not on this one.
No, but if you tried to put a saddle on a zebra, you would find out why it says, I am not a horse. Let me explain why.
They will definitely straighten you out on any misconceptions that they are pack animals.
No. Nope. They don't domesticate. They don't like people on them.
They are definitely not up for farming.
They're nippy.
To say the least.
To say it nice.
We know a lot about zebras because of that aforementioned park.
we had what Cinnamon?
We had an experience there. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. We did. We had an experience at the park.
Nature shows, man. We watch a lot of
nature shows. I'm gonna tell you right now, best bird in the universe is the McGregor bowerbird. Not just because it's named after Ewan McGregor, which it's not, but it's a McGregor bowerbird. If you haven't watched Dancing with Birds, it's on Netflix. Just fast forward. All of it's worth watching. especially right now. If you just need a mental and emotional and spiritual cleanse and we're not painting, go there, go to the McGregor bird and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see it like psychologically warfare a pig. It's fantastic. Made me so happy. I've never been so happy with any bird in my life.
You should paint one.
They're brown. But I should, because he is my favorite bird.
You should do the eye thing where like they,
I have to also warn you, if you haven't seen what's going on with the walruses lately, fast forward through any current footage. Yeah, read it, take it in some other way. I mean, you should know if you need to know, but that's not.
Walruses need our support right now.
They really do, man. It is not cool. If I win like the lottery, and I've told John this, if I win the lottery, the first thing I'm doing is going to go dress that. Because there can't be any more of that going on. I was like, we're going to go fix that, okay? Get some people and, I don't know, ask Elon Musk. I don't know, we got to come up with a raft or something, system of rafts. Help these little creatures out. All right, so I'm going to be continuing on. I'm going to add a little green here. And I think I'm going to come across here kind of like, it is a little bit, hidden, but we'll got that little line of green. And then we're going to go right into the blue. Maybe more of the blue. Let's finish with purple. There. So now he's got a bit of that happening, right?
Yeah.
These things are not terrible. I'm going to look for any of the places where maybe here I might want to bring a stripe down just to make sure that I'm really talking about the jaw well. And I may come back with a little bit of red. Because as artists, we can do a very cool thing of exaggeration or simplification.
What was the name of the show you were watching?
Dances with Birds.
Dances with
Birds. Or Dancing with Birds.
Dancing.
Birds of Paradise. Man, oh my gosh, these things are so awesome.
This is...
I may have watched it a few times. Life is very challenging right now. I'm going to try this and take a picture.
So, yeah, the bird show was really good. And I have to say, I come up there and see Cinnamon watching different birds all the time. And they're very cute and very funny birds. I still particularly like the puffin. It's my bird. I don't know why. One day I decided that was my bird. But yeah, this whole bowerbird thing definitely has some comedy to it.
The Dances with Birds?
The bowerbirds.
Bowerbirds. I've had several people watch it with me. So my son brought me into this. He's like, "Mom, you seem stressed. You should watch this. You'll feel better." And I'm like, baby. I'm like, little dance bird thing is going to make Mom feel better. And I was like, at the end of it, I was like, "You're the best kid. You understand many things and you are so wise." I'm going to put out some more magenta. Wherever that went. My magenta. And we're going to get back to the nose. Oh, I should take a picture, though. If I haven't. We should blow some bubbles because we got there.
Yeah.
And we want to have bubbles in acrylic April, guys. Just fair warning.
Well, it's not bubble April.
No, it is not bubble April.
It could be, I guess.
I wanted really good attendance, but for a different reason.
So this has been pretty good. I was just looking. I get distracted by you doing weird things over here, and I forget to read the chat. And I'm like, oh, I have to recenter because Sherpa's over here being weird as a bird.
When it gets really bad, that's where my mind goes.
Being a bird.
Being a bird. So I'm going to take, this is a hog bristle brush, and I like to have these around because they do a really cool thing for dry brushing, and I want to do some dry brushing in a few places. And so they're a wonderful tool for that. I'm going to grab my white, pink and some white, and I'm going to make a very light pink, guys.
A light pink.
A light pink. And I'm going to highlight some stuff. I'm going to come to the edge of the nose here and highlight. I'm under here.
Mm.
All right. Get maybe into my orange, be playful. Because we can, right?
Yeah.
My orange and my pink make a very interesting color. That it's going to go on the top of the nose. And then perhaps we will kind of talk about a little wrinkle here. And maybe another little wrinkle that's happening here. How do those look? Getting a little wrinkle going. He's getting his little rock on.
Yeah.
He's a rock star. And he knows it. Another little highlight right here. Pretty terrific stuff. Just grab little pops of color. Let's get some orange. Because the wonderful thing about somebody like this little fellow is that he can be as colorful as we determine he should be. So, and then if I want to come back in to my cadmium, I can come under the nostril and make like, look at that cool shadow we were able to make. It's just number 6 Cambridge. If you happen to already have the number 8, well, you're sort of hooked up, right?
Yeah.
But what we're talking about essentially is just a good dry brush. Maybe get into my red. Haven't rinsed out, so it mixes on the canvas. Kind of fun. Let's add a little bit of a shadow right here. That's pretty terrific. That nose starts to have shape and form. And get into a little purple. And we'll say, hey, right across here, very deep. Just talking about the shadows across his nose. Another place that we can be kind of playful. All right, so I'll get some of my deep purple under the lip here. Let's take some purple and some quinacridone and quite a lot of white, and then we'll come here to the teeth. Talk about those. And then I like to sort of just feather that in so there's a nice little shading. That's good. Lovely. Make sure that we've got a little space right here. And that's working pretty well. I'm going to come back with my orange. And give a few little highlights along the edge here. See how colorful that got? Can be that colorful. Get right into my yellow. Just continue to rock and roll that space up.
Yeah.
You're not going to be sorry that you did.
Not at all.
We're just trying to talk about what's happening. Now, in his tongue, his fantastic, terrific, amazing tongue, I'm going to take my deepest turquoise, which is just my phthalo blue and my phthalo green together. And I'm going to come in the middle here. And I'm really going to shade the roll. Super fun stuff. Then I'm going to get some yellow into it and quite a lot of white. And right here, coming along to the tip, I'm going to add a little bit of a little tongue highlight. So we can really see his little tongue inside his little mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, tongue happens. Get that little shape in. And you can always come back with a darker color again. Oh, it's got to be right down the middle. Because it's like on the bend. Whenever you rinse out your Cambridge or your hog bristle, wherever you're at, be sure to dry it out because the bristles hold a lot of water. A little bit of white right there.
Wow, that's really coming in.
It comes in. Now I'm going to get a little of my blue and white into my thing. I'm going to see if I can get this done really well on my teeth. And so I'm just doing a little stroke across here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the trick will be to come back with a much lighter color. And focus those. See his mouth now?
Oh, yeah.
Great, right? Just touching little things where you want more contrast, more color, more life. All right. I'm pretty happy with that, and I bet you're pretty surprised at that.
I'm pretty happy with that. That turned out amazing.
Yeah. It just comes together when it comes together.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna come over here and take. There's some chat that I need to come up here, and I need to say thank you to Lydia, and I need to say thank you to Sabrina. And Lydia has been here. You know, we've been chatting up the entire day here, and I saw Sabrina come in here, and she said, "You deserve a Starbucks, big heart. Thank you for being such a joy. I always get scared when I paint, but you give me confidence and teach me to be kind to myself."
Oh, thank you. I am so glad. If you do any work in the painting, put kind to yourself up here and techniques here.
And
Kind
thank
to
you.
self, techniques. Because if you can do that, the techniques will come up. But kind to self, that's hard work, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And thank you to Lydia.
Mm.
She's giving lots of sticker support here. We love seeing you.
I'm going to go get my cat orange. Well, I have plenty. I'll get it in a minute.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I was going to get my cat orange, but I'm not even sure I need any more. Okay. Inside the ears. Super fun stuff for me. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Cambridge and I'm going to get my Cad Red. I'm going to come to the outside edge of this and make a short little stroke. And you'll notice that the bristles are almost like hairs.
Yeah.
And they give that impression. It's incredibly helpful to a lot that we're doing. Now, I can't get into my yellow yet because you've got to do the inside of your ear. There's this weird thing. So on ears, you've got to do this edge usually, then some interior fluff, and then there's some more fluff that layers over it. If that makes sense. Yeah. And you've got to make sure that you have a deep value internally in the ear because, ears deep down have a shadow. So I'm going to take a little of my orange and CAD, and I'm going to come up here and make sure that when I go to feather in some more information, that depth of shadow is in the ear painted somehow. We've got our yellow already on. I think we're ready to do a blendy blend. I'm going to take some of my yellow, a bit of my white, and I'm going to flick out right here. You can always grab some more orange as you come up and flick out from here. See that? Wonderful, isn't it? Now I'm going to get into my orange. And a little into my red. Can you guys see kind of how that is happening?
Yeah, I think so. I love how that little ear fur.
That's how you got to get those little crazy ears in. If you want to improve that interior hair, you come in with your yellow and a bit of your white, quite light. And right here, just come up there and inform that. Next thing that we've got to do is our turquoise ear. Kind of a similar deal. We're going to start with our purple and white. Outside edge. Let's make sure that there's a bit of depth interior of the ear. No matter what else we do, we gotta say there's enough ear that he can hear something.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta give him enough shadow there. Now I'm gonna get into my white and blue. And then a lot more white. Just stroking that out. And you can see that little bit of that ear fluff. I'm going to get my magenta and a little of my purple. And some white. And flick in some more of these little fuzzy ear hairs. Like that. Okay, get right back into my dark purple. And make sure that it's tipped with that outer edge. How is that, guys?
Looking pretty fantastic to me.
Guess what's left? The white and whatever detail we're putting on in the eyes.
Really?
Yep. We're nearly done. These are involved pieces. When you see this stuff sometimes with pop art, they're really doable, but they have, sections, they have layers, they have things that you've got to kind of address and deal with. I'm going to use my number 8 cat's tongue. I'll put out some of my clean white just because I want to have some clean white because I want the crazy contrast that I could have, whatever crazy contrast I could have. You're going to come in here. Paint everything that is a black stripe white.
Ah. You just fill in the little areas there.
Just fill them in.
Interesting.
Kind of get a sense of how that's going to look now. You can change the size or directionality at this stage of your stripes if you felt like it.
I don't know much about zebra stripes.
Right? You could, you know, put a little opening in that stripe if you felt like it.
Stripe detailing.
Mm-hmm. The trick is just to enjoy yourself, really. That's the trick.
Yeah.
Now I'm just using my number 8 cats. I mean, you could just use a nice big round just as easily.
I'm going to peek over your left shoulder there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for me to lean back enough for that new camera angle.
Oh, well, then I'll just go to the other side.
No, it's okay. The left shoulder is the better view that I want everyone to have. If you have a boo-boo, like I just had, you just come back with your brush and clean it up.
Oh, yeah, it just erases.
Yeah. And I'll show you what I mean about a round, so you could come in with all rounds. Just painting in that spot. This is a great time to use fluid paint if you have it, because it's got a lot of pigment and a lot of coverage. So I think for this one, it's not super duper necessary.
Yeah.
But you could. Because even if you dry brushed in the white, you can see right away that it's a big thing.
Oh, definitely. Adds a lot of contrast to the picture.
That is so true. If I wanted his stripes to be black and the white ones to represent some sort of colors, I would have switched them to pastels. If you were doing the opposite of what I was doing.
Interesting.
So that the contrast was still big.
Right.
Sometimes I've got to get more water for my paint to make it more fluid. Just the fun act of painting the stripes. How is everybody's wonderful, amazing, terrific painting coming along?
This is really great. I think I keep getting distracted by what you're doing and going over to read chat. There was a question though, why pastels?
Because the values would be too dark otherwise. So like if you had these brights against the blacks, you'll notice that there's color contrast, but if you squint, you'll notice there's not that much contrast, light to dark values. So if I wanted the big zebra impact the zebras tend to have, by putting these in pastels and leaving those black, I would get those. Like a neon pastel would be amazing as an alternative. But I wanted bright, strong rainbow colors, like I guess fruit striped gum, which everyone was like saying, he looks like the fruit striped gum zebra.
Hey.
Maybe he do. Maybe he do. And you can see just come in here and paint in my stripes. Any stripes, if you over paint out a stripe, guess what?
What's that?
Just put it back.
That's true. You can just go. You have the color right there on your palette.
If you don't like how, like if you don't want your stripes to be streaky, just paint a second coat.
I kind of like them. It makes them look. It makes your eye fill in detail that isn't there, I think.
Yes, I like that for the same reason. Well, hopefully you guys are surprised how awesome this is coming out. And hopefully also this is helping you
I'm very surprised.
relax and de-stress this Saturday. Whatever your worries you might be carrying right now, whatever you're going through right now, just letting it go for a half minute and enjoying the zebra. And you can see just a, second coat is always going to be a richer thing. And I would even suggest to you, even after today, if you want to keep going and paint a second coat of your colors and even your whites. Just, put another 2 hours into it, right?
Yeah.
Just because the video's over doesn't mean you're done. You could keep going. You could explore the idea more.
Just keep painting.
Like Dory. Just keep painting, just keep painting. To be Dory right now. And you can see the coats definitely help. If I want to completely give myself a break, I can put out this paint, which is Golden's Fluid White. And what's very nice about it is that it's thinned. It's very thin. The polymer in it is not heavy bodied. And as you can see, the pigmentation is quite good. You could do this pretty well with craft paint too, I would bet.
Yeah. Imagine so.
I love putting in these stripes. Am I in the way?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Generally, it's only on that far side of the surface that I have trouble.
How's his little zebra nest looking?
It's looking great. All these little stripes are coming in.
And you can see why we made a decision to wait to put them in until the end.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise you can get really kind of overwhelmed by all of it. And you don't want to be whelmed. Let alone
Under or over?
overwhelmed. I've already got enough stuff that's overwhelming.
You know, that's one of those words where I find myself overwhelmed and underwhelmed, but rarely do I just say I'm whelmed.
Right. What? How do we refer to the state of whelming? I don't know.
How are you? I'm whelmed.
Whelmed. Super whelmed. I'd say he's going to do well on Pinterest. I bet our labs people are going to come up with a simplified version of him that's going to do well as well. Just like, ooh. Everything in acrylic April is easier than this.
Yes.
So you should join us.
Absolutely, you should.
Now through here, realize that we're painting under the neck, and we do have to create some directionality, before switching to the jaw. Oh my gosh, I really like him.
He's really turning out great.
There we go. Those little stripes that say I'm this, I'm that, I'm something else. First stripes into the face. You guys are like, this? Yes, this.
This is turning out really great.
I did all this work to have this right here. And it's like, yes, yes, you did.
To get to the zebra striping part,
And then the last one is we just do a little work on the eyes if we want to, which I do.
which we do.
Well, even though his eyes are like squish closed, I just want to do some stuff because, like, I don't know. I feel like if we did some really ridiculous eyelashes, that would be fun.
That would be good.
We'll see how it goes. I feel like it would add value. Add value. And again, I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping those stripes going in the direction that helps define his shape.
Right. We're getting close to the end, though.
Yep. Super close.
Just half of his little faces,
Yeah, and a little eye.
little eye.
You know, not that I want to go today.
No, just I was noticing that we're getting close.
Yeah, we're getting close. I could make this go all day.
Oh, I know. It'd be fun, too.
Because it's just so intense out there in the world.
Although I have to say I may be running close on my coffee here. I have.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to have to get more. I'm going to have to re-coffee up here pretty
Well,
soon.
I don't think we're going to go more than 15 minutes. Are you gonna be okay?
Ah, we'll see.
All right.
My coffee tank. You know how they go.
I do.
The little alarm goes off in the back of your head and says, "Hey, you should think about that cup of coffee. Otherwise, you might be napping." Napping!
He's not napping.
No, he's not napping.
He is not napping.
But I'm, you know, he's
Maybe I'll
he's
put a
had
little
his coffee.
kind of
Maybe-
center in his stripe there, like that.
His name may be Caffeine.
Caffeine the zebra. We used to name all of our animals after coffee.
We could just call him
We
Caffey.
had mocha and latte,
That's right, we did.
Java, espresso. It's a whole problem.
Yep.
All right, so there we go. We've got those stripes in. Again, you could come back through. You could do several layers.
What about
There wouldn't
the
be anything.
eye?
I'm going to get a picture of that, but I think probably the last one will just be of the eyes. But I do
We
want to
need
do the eyes.
eyelashes. We
Yeah.
definitely need eyelashes.
I feel like we do.
Because right now, it's kind of, he just has some striped face, and
Stuff going on.
you can tell there's got to be some eyes up there in there somewhere, but they're not fully defined eyes.
And we need to fully define his eyes. So let's take a little bit of our orange and come here and notice that he's got a little lid,
Oh, yeah, that helps.
right? And then perhaps even above that, there's another little lid. Get into your cad red. I'm going to get into my purple. That's my cat in purple. It's unexpected, right?
Mm-hmm. That's really defining that eye much nicer.
Yeah. We want to see it. We want to know it's there. It's exciting to us. We don't want to lose it. Same sort of thing is sort of going on over here. So let's do maybe this in a lighter color. Get that going. And then I'm going to grab my purple. And we want to have that there. That's pretty wonderful.
That does a lot.
Now, I'm going to do something. I'm going to dry this.
Okay. She could dry that because she wants to do layers. And you know how layers have to be dry. So dry between your layers. And you guys were asking where she got the inspiration for this. She just did it. She was sitting there and she saw the zebra and she was like, I want to do something with that zebra. So then she splattered the zebra and then she colorized the zebra and then she said, this zebra is me. And that's what she had to paint.
Yes.
They were like, what inspired the zebra? And I was like,
Stress.
this was a construction of Sherpa.
I'm getting some yellow. Tip of my brush.
Fabrication du Sherpa. Is that right?
Fabrication what?
Fabrication of the Sherpa.
Yes. Fabrication of me. That's so true. A little bit of lash there, right? Helps us see it.
Wow, that turned out great.
And then, he's got those little eyelashes, and that really helps him. Because he's busy, right?
He is.
Very busy little creature. To that end, I'm going to sign him in black.
Wow, you should definitely sign him. And then we'll turn around and we'll say bubbles for everybody.
We'll say bubbles for everybody because you guys came, we painted, we had fun, we made something that made us feel better. Art should do that, help us feel better. Can't control the world, but we can control our canvas. Excellent.
He turned out great.
All right, let's bubble on out.
And I'm going to say to Madeleine over here, thank you, Madeleine. She sent a big old sticker saying you're an amazing pair. So thank you, Sherpa. And thank you, Madeleine, for supporting us. And everybody who's been here, who's liked and commented and shared and super chatted and done all the things. We love you guys.
You guys love it? Do you feel it? Is he speaking to your soul? Oh, you know what? Baby, I didn't get all my stripes.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, you forgot to half his face stripes.
I did. Was no one screaming? Usually everybody screams.
It was camouflaged.
He's so camouflaged,
in his face.
even I lost him.
And that happens sometimes. You'll think you're done and you take a step back and you're like, I did not finish. I need to do more.
I was like, why was his muzzle so offsides?
There we go.
All right.
There we go. That's looking more
better.
zebra.
Very zebra. Okay. Now, yes. It's that kind of week, right?
It is. Gosh, thank you guys for coming and joining us. It's been pretty fantastic. This painting's just whipped right along. We're just a little hair over, we're a nose over 2 hours.
That's not bad.
No.
It's 2 hours to put everything down for a second. Just not worry about it for just a minute is just always a fantastic and good idea to do. Remember, you can continue to add layers to him and brighten him in any way you want. Have fun with all the things that are going on. Right now, take care of yourself. Seriously, more than usual. Self-care is a big deal. And take care of each other, right? Wash your hands, take care, say kind things. Let's all be really gentle with each other around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Be good to yourself, be good to each other, and I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye!